So even as we come as a team, I believe that everybody's light shines differently. Because your light is shining, and I'm seeing that, and now I want to come and then share of and share in this sense. It takes two to tangle, right?
Sure.
So yes, as much as I come with music and as much as I come with this and the other, Queenstown has a gift to offer that I may see, that I may learn, that I may be influenced by, that I may perceive. Then also to say to you, I've started playing this concept, foot bass and guitar, which is very uncommon, of course, with
I remember.
two others specifically that I know of who wants to get into this. But this is what I see. If a youngster can see this and be influenced by this, it is a fact that because of the youth, they will increase hundredfold on top of what we can do. So as we are coming and represent, hey, look at this, I can do this. To them, what took me very long to learn and understand, they see it, and how can they be influenced by this? So let's not forget, playing foot bass is not then just limited to specific instrumentalists. You know, even people with disability, with hand disability, you know, it's an option of, hey man, I can still make music. But the biggest thing that I want to say is this. Someone's light needed to shine for me. I can catch this thing and that they can do it, because the next generation has the gift and the potential to be bigger than what we can ever be.
Wow, man. Okay, first of all, Mr. Bush, this conversation, it has a life of its own.
For sure.
There's no script here.
Yeah.
You know, because when we speak from the heart, we say things that we know. You know, we say, we talk about ourselves as the way they are.
Yeah.
You know, there's nothing else in between. There's nothing else in between. Mr. Bush, man, I don't know how to put this. You know, you don't know how excited am I to have you here. But anyway, also, most of these questions that I'm asking you, I know that I getting deeper into your personal, you know, sort of musical life, but of course, and your life as well. Because as I've said before, I want people to understand, to get into this. And especially when they're hearing it from somebody who does it, not somebody who has learned from a certain book or something like that. For me, that's the part that I love the most. That's the part that I love the most. And you talked about the NPOs, that the NPOs are the ones that, you know, also you started with, or some of the NPOs that, you know, you've been involved in, especially when you was coming up as a youngster. I have an NPO that is not still struggling in terms of funds.
Yeah.
It's struggling in terms of funds. But workshops like those, like these ones, they really, there are two things. There are two things that we are going to benefit from you, your visit. The knowledge, number one. That's one thing that we're going to benefit, because I know your experience in the music industry and you've unpacked it earlier here. And financially too. You know, we're going to benefit financially, because there's some monies that are going to come that will help in terms of getting the stuff that we would desperately need. It's not much, but it's something that goes a long way. You know, it's something that goes a long way. I just hope that people out there, especially those that are listening to, that have a passion for music, will hear what you're talking about, will understand the impact of the music that it does to the community. Because every time when I speak here, I talk about the upliftment of the community.
Yeah.
And sometimes I used to say, not even sometimes, most of the time I do say that I know families that have been, you know, families that have been living out of music.
Yeah.
Some of my friends, Makoy Mkhobata, for example, you know, Makoy Mkhobata, he's one challenges in life. So music, it can do that for you. You can have a family and raise a family. I know millionaires, let me not say billionaires, that are in the, but just that we just still don't have them here in the country. Because the environment, this is the kind of environment that we're trying to, you know, to mold and build it up.
Yeah.
But if you could go to, you know, places like America and Europe and all of those kinds of places, there are millions. I mean, Heavy Hancock, for example.
Yes.
You know, and Wynton Marsalis, you know, they've been musicians all their lives. You understand? And now the world is also open. I mean, as we speak today, Sudukazi Akhos's son is starting in New York.
Yeah.
Moses Mulelego's son, you know, and there are quite a lot of people there. Now in Duduzo Makatini, they're doing things all around the world. He's going to the North Sea Jazz Festival. So the world is so open.
Yeah.
Hoping that now, with all these things, and also the interview that we're having today, and the workshop that we're going to have, and the performance, people will get to understand what is this thing called music. What does it do exactly? Especially in a place like Queenstown. As much as Queenstown has produced the people that we spoke about earlier, but we're still behind. We're still behind. We're still behind. Went to Cape Town. I started in Cape Town. I met people like yourself and lots of other people. Then I moved to Johannesburg. I made my 2 records there.
Yeah.
You understand? These are the things that I should have done it here if the environment was okay.
Yeah.
You know, if the environment was okay. So this is what the workshop and the concert. What can we expect from you before we close that way?
Before we close that way. So let me just jump back to something that you said earlier in terms of the stipend of benefit that's going to come to the school. And that's thank you to the Department of Sports, Arts and Culture, you know, that they've accepted the proposal that we've handed in order to do this. And you've been part of the proposal as I communicated with you. So when I think where one comes and apart from A, you demonstrate your ability and your skill, and then B, you talk about how that was possible, and you talk about innovation. For sure, a copy has your name on it, for sure. And the idea would be, as I share of myself, the biggest motivation for me is, what will the listener take away from in order to be able to create? It's not possible. Leave that for those, the overseas.
Sure, yeah,
the
it's not for you.
Americans, not for you. So what can you expect? One, innovation. I've innovated 2 things. I've built organ foot pedals myself as a lay person, meaning music is my qualification, music is my skill.
Sure.
But I've built foot-based pedals. So one, innovation, and then the demonstration of that foot-based. 2, then that's from music perspective, what can you expect? Another innovation from, I took maths and music and I combined it. I took what we call geometric shapes of maths, and I took scales and I merged the 2. So, and that is part what I'll be talking about.
Wow.
To say to us, who at the time published the most works in the global market space? South Africans. We were not into publication as much. It is of recent years that we started to publicize things, whether it's books, whether it's music. You know, the clubs used to ask you to play covers, other people's music strictly. And now we're coming into our own. Nduduzo, who's now traveling internationally, playing his own music. That had to come from somewhere. Sure. Someone had to influence him. And Becky Mseleka was the biggest influence on him, who played his own music and took his own music to the world market. And the world market was stunned by this man. And because of Becky Mseleka, Nduduzo has become. And I believe that what can one expect? Demonstrating my skill, coming with innovation, yes, playing compositions, playing creative music, and of course some of the music is accessible to the average listener and some of the music is not, but I'll give you what is it about. It's about, listen, if I can, you can.
Sure.
And then the African proverb in the English translation, which you can give me the vernacular version of that. I am because you are. You can. If I can innovate, you can innovate.
Sure.
If I can put things together and write about it, you can. And ultimately, it is then to take from me what I have become, so that I can take from you at that moment in time. Because hey, what is the artist without creativity? What is the created work without sharing? What is sharing without the audience? So is this interaction. So what can you expect? Hey man, come and check it out and you will see what you can expect.
Wow. Man, I so wish you could stay here, you know, and be part of these programs that we're busy with in Queenstown. But unfortunately, I know even wherever you are, there's quite a lot of work that you're doing and a lot of people that are benefiting from it. Mr. Winbush, I want to thank you. Thank you. I want to thank you. Thank you so much. I'm glad that, we got a chance to meet again. And of course, it's not the last. I wasn't joking enough. Did I tell you that? I came to Joburg in November last year.
Yeah, you did a gig, did you say?
Yeah, at Nirox.
Yeah.
We were at Nirox. Yeah, Mr. Bosch, last word from you.
Away.
Oh man, shame.
We came with the team, and the one great thing that I can say about the team, personalities is beautiful. So if you want to come and ask someone about photography, we have a Gaddafi. If you want to ask about videography, we have Ariel. If you want to ask about sound, we've got Tumela Masuku. If you want to ask about singing, we've got a young singer that I've taken from the school. If you want to talk about drums, we've got a young drummer. I chose the young specifically because young speaks to young. Of course, they're not too young. They're coming to an NPO who's paving a way. So to the Vukani listeners out there, come and see. Let curiosity spur you on to come and check out this guy speaking all these words. Let's hear what he can do. And let's see if what he says is true. I will tell you, station, in order for having us here, we are looking forward to Drink of the City, because I believe every city holds a unique gift. And our biggest challenge is we can't see that we hold gifts. Driving into into the Eastern Cape, it's my first time driving this route around. Man, I want to say, I am pretty stunned with what I've seen as the entrance. And then to say something a little bit weird, I'll say it like this: if the lushness and the water, as you come in, you see the lushness, and you see the water, and you see the livestock. There's a story to tell that if that lushness is in nature, then that lushness must be in us. If that greenery is in nature, then that greenery must be in us, meaning that giftedness must be in us. If the waters, I've seen many pools of waters as I've come here, and water represents in our own world, and we've been there, I have been there in my circle, in my community, in my township. But then to say, it takes someone to come to knock us a little bit, to have a perspective so that we may change. Is it easy? You said it earlier, no it's not. Is it always a straight road? No it's not. But the perspective should not be that it should be a straight road. The perspective should be, how do I navigate all the curves that comes around? Easier said than done. But the difference between a human who succeeds, people say, is the one who doesn't quit.
That's a song right there, people. Let's hope that he's inspired by whatever that he saw coming all the way from Pretoria to here. Mr. Winbush, we thank you very much. We're going to see you tomorrow. Hopefully that Queenstown is going to come out in numbers to experience whatever that you brought. And it's a beautiful, of course, to my listeners, we'll meet on Saturday, 10 o'clock, people. 10 o'clock, it's a workshop until 12. We just got to keep it short. We don't want to bombard you with a lot of information. But of course, we open for any questions. Even when he's in Pretoria, I'm sure, he will welcome you if you could, if there's any question that I would like to ask him. Or you can go through me, But of course, he's a really, really, really open guy. Come tomorrow. In terms of performance, most of the music you're going to perform are original compositions, am I right? Oh my God. Beautiful, beautiful. Thank you so much, Mr. Wayne. I'm just going to play a beautiful song here. While he's busy collecting himself from all this information that has been given us. I think I should go to, let me see if I could go to a beautiful song. Before I say anything about the song, let me first find it. Okay, let's do this. Let's do that. Just a minute. Sometimes the technology to sit usafuna ukuthi yona esigivele yenze ngendlela efuna ukwenza ngayo kodwa ke izinto zakhona abantu bakuthi. Okay, while sisebhizi sisalungisa, let me remind you, tomorrow it's a workshop from 10 o'clock until 12 old age home eRowell apho kwakuthiwa kusezimfameni kudala, and then kwakula venue E1 sizaba nayo i-concert. Sesizawubeka intente ngaphandle. Let's hope ukuthi weather ayizosiphoxa. Let's hope ukuthi weather ayizosiphoxa because